different types of audiences on Instagram and on Pinterest.
Okay.
And Pinterest came out and said, we want to be the platform that is the most inspiring, right? So Instagram, you're like, Instagram's a little competitive, right? Like you're showing off a little bit on Instagram, whereas on it's curated. On Pinterest, while there are of course professional photos, especially in the wedding industry, it's all, perfectly set photographed images. The story pins portion is more behind the scenes or how to's or decor setups, and they want to see a little more raw, behind the scenes, inspirational, very positive platform.
Again, to the so many different options as far as where a wedding pro can spend their time curating content. Can they repurpose story content on Instagram? So it's in the longer kind of vertical format. Can they repurpose that content to putting it on Pinterest, or does the professional have to create a completely new bit of content?
That's a great question. I would say you can. I would be strategic because you have two very different types of audiences on Instagram and on Pinterest.
Okay.
And Pinterest came out and said, we want to be the platform that is the most inspiring, right? So Instagram, you're like, Instagram's a little competitive, right? Like you're showing off a little bit on Instagram, whereas on it's curated. On Pinterest, while there are of course professional photos, especially in the wedding industry, it's all, perfectly set photographed images. The story pins portion is more behind the scenes or how to's or decor setups, and they want to see a little more raw, behind the scenes, inspirational, very positive platform. So yes, if that's something you shared on Instagram stories, what you'd have to do is of course save to like every individual story to your camera roll and absolutely upload it to Pinterest. It's worth a try. And I think this is what I love also about Pinterest is you're not penalized if a pin falls flat, right? You're only just doing better if it does good, but you're not
Okay.
going into the negative if it does bad. So I do this all the time. I will try something and it'll bomb and I'll be like, okay, that didn't work. Moving on to the next thing, right? So that's what I love about Pinterest. Don't be afraid to test something. Nobody is refreshing your page being like, oh my God, I cannot believe they, right? Like they're not.
Totally.
Um, the other thing too, what I think you should not do is share your Instagram reel to Pinterest. Now, what I mean by that is on your phone, I think you can click your Instagram reel, the three dots, and it can say share to Pinterest directly. Like we could copy it directly over to Pinterest. Don't do that because it is not optimized for Pinterest. It has your reel on Instagram has hashtags in it. It has whatever caption you gave it that is irrelevant to Pinterest.
Hmm.
So if you are going to repurpose your reel or your TikTok, save it to your camera roll first as its own video, then come over to Pinterest and upload it, add your title, change your caption, remove the hashtags, like do your optimizing on Pinterest and then add it. And I will say, reels have not been doing great on Pinterest unless, again, they are super visually inspirational. So the ones that stuff like pointing at words does not do great, whereas a walkthrough of a venue or a setup of a tablescape, something like that, like behind the scenes, that does really well. So I would just say be very mindful of the stuff that you take from one platform to the other because they don't always work with each other.
Got it. Got it. I love that. I think my temptation, maybe others out there as well, would be like, what content have I already created that I can repurpose so that I, cut down on my workflow?
Yes.
So then that makes a lot of sense. And Reels. So it sounds like there's support on Pinterest for both videos and pictures.
Correct. Yeah. And they're pushing videos like crazy, which is
Huh.
so frustrating because it's so much more work. But again, that could be very easy. Like I said, I always give this example of behind the scenes of setting up a tablescape at a wedding. No matter what vendor you are, it could be as a photographer behind the scenes shooting the tablescape, like behind the scenes, how to's, DIYs, like something that's not necessarily educational, just fun to watch, inspirational, like
Entertainment.
just
Yeah.
entertainment. And it's, yeah, that's what people want to see. So yeah, I do encourage video. They are pushing video a lot. They have a built-in audio in the app. So when you're creating either a story pin or a video pin, they have music that you can use on there. They also have voice. You could talk over your videos. So play with it. Like I really, really encourage people not to be scared and just to try it, because it's fun to see, oh, that surprisingly did really well, or oh gosh, that absolutely did not do well at all.